Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. That's right, we are back for another week talking all the latest in sports entertainment. I'm Larry Caution, joined as I am each and every week by co-hosts Calvin Thomas, Justin B.A. the Barber Harris. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing all right, doing all right.
I expected a little more pep in your step.
Why?
Knicks on the cusp of the conference finals.
Job's not done.
I like that type of guy. Go ahead, Donovan.
This job ain't been done for 50 years. What are you talking about?
Well, then we gotta wait.
You're
Gotta
right.
wait each day.
I respect it. I respect it. Finish the job.
I don't.
Finish the job.
Don't nobody on this team know how to finish no job. Be happy where you at.
We
We'll
actually
talk
are
about
doing
that
it
in
as we
great
speak,
detail.
but it's all good.
We will talk about that in great detail in a moment. But just checking in, how y'all fellas been? Everything good? Hope everybody had a great week. This is Mother's Day weekend coming off of. Hope you all were able to celebrate the mothers in your lives. You have wives with children, you have mothers. Hopefully you all had a great weekend. And for all our viewers, we hope that you all enjoyed your Mother's Day weekend and that someone did something special for you as well. But we got a lot to get into tonight, so let's not waste any time. I want to start tonight talking about what happened last night in the association. Each and every year we have this lottery where it gives someone a glimmer of hope. Teams who may have struggled all year, they put themselves in a position where they didn't have a lot of victories, and they get a percentage point, which will decide their probability of getting the number one overall pick in the NBA draft. And this year was particularly pretty interesting because last summer, when we were watching the Olympics, a young man came out playing really big basketball in the scrimmage round versus Team USA by the name of Cooper Flag. And a lot of people were excited about him, thinking this guy would be a huge prospect. We saw what he was able to do this past year at Duke University, playing big time until it got to the NCAA tournament where he had some low lights, but overall still a great prospect. So he is projected number one overall pick. So a lot of teams were vying for who's going to win this Cooper Flag sweepstakes, who's going to get that number one pick. Well, percentage odds for the number one pick going into last night's draft, the Utah Jazz and Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets all had a 14% probability to get that number one pick. We know the Jazz haven't been good since they gave up on Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley Jr. That team that was they won the West one year, was high contention. They had some good teams. Ever since then, they've been kind of nosediving. Washington Wizards haven't been good probably since Gilbert Arenas, maybe Richard Hamilton days. I can't remember how long. Antoine Jameson. But it's been a while since the Wizards have been of any prominence, and they gave up on Kyle Kuzma, trading him to the Milwaukee Bucks for Chris Middleton. And a lot of people thought they put themselves in position to add a Cooper Flag and try to rebuild. And then the Charlotte Hornets, who a lot of people feel like with LaMelo Ball, you have some other pieces there. If they were able to add a Cooper Flag, that could be a young, good team. Cooper Flag playing at Duke in North Carolina already. Excellent transition to go over to Charlotte, play for the Hornets. But nobody, and I mean nobody, could have predicted that of all these teams I just named, you got the Pelicans 12.5 percentage, the Sixers, the Nets, all of these teams you have to go through till you get all the way down to the team with 1.8 percentage point probability to get the number one pick. And it turns out that it goes to the Dallas Mavericks. That's right, that Dallas Mavericks team, the team that this past season traded away Luka Doncic, ending the hopes and dashing the love of the game for some of our dear friends or people who are Dallas Mavericks fans. We've seen them give up on the team altogether because of losing Luka Doncic. But this team, led by Nico Harrison as the team general manager, team president, who has been getting the ire, the hate of the entire fan base in Dallas. You had games where they were shouting, fire Nico, throughout the arena. And of all the teams to win the lottery and to get bailed out and possibly had the opportunity to draft the next generational talent, the Dallas Mavericks pick up the number 1 overall pick and are now sitting on the clock for the NBA draft. Justin, when you first saw this, what was your thoughts? What was going through your mind when you saw Dallas get the number 1 overall pick?
The first thing I thought was the fix was in, but then I quickly got off of that.
Frozen envelope.
I quickly got off of that thought process because I know a lot of people was going to tag along to that, and I get it, right? It definitely makes sense that it's that, right? It's not like the NBA has never done that before. Shout out to Pat Ewing going to New York and Tim Duncan happened and going to San Antonio and things like that.
That wasn't a fix.
It could have been because the team severely tanked and then they got him.
Well, it worked. This was way gone.
You have to go back and see, has this ever happened before? And the thing that came to mind, unfortunately, could be another fix if you want to call it that. Chicago Bulls, when they selected Derrick Rose, he had a 1.7 chance of going to Chicago, and he ended up there. I'm interested in it. I didn't necessarily look up for Cleveland landing LeBron James, but they probably wasn't number 1. You know what I'm saying? So things happen. You got Cooper Flag, or the possibility of getting Cooper Flag to Dallas. You usher in one foreign white boy, get an American white boy. Hey, we see how far it goes.
In Dallas.
In Dallas, it fits. I mean, honestly, Cooper could fit with any team. He's just a perfect plug and play kind of a guy. And those that don't know Cooper, after watching him in Duke, I mean, he plays both sides of the court. Can that hold up in the NBA? That's to be determined. But his hustle is there. His want to is there. Secondly, can he shoot? The boy can shoot from inside, stretch the floor all the way out to the 3. He has range. And that's pretty much all you need. Can he put the ball on the floor? He can put the ball on the floor. We'll see how like I said, defensively, how he goes against small forwards. I think that's the position for him. But, we'll see when it comes to that. Great prospect. And we just see how he does.
Calvin, what was your thoughts when you saw the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 overall pick?
The fix is in. The fix is in. Let me say this. I'll give you 3 examples. Chris Paul, the no trade to LA. Oh, I'm sorry, the trade to LA Clippers. AD, the trade to the LA Clippers. I'm sorry, the LA Lakers. And Luka Doncic trade to LA Lakers.
So
each one of those trades.
This is all centered around Anthony Davis.
No. What I'm saying is each trade to LA basically gone to the team that traded number one overall draft pick.
Really? So you got an LA 30.
New Orleans
is AD.
New Orleans got AD after the Chris Paul trade.
Correct. Okay. So after the subject trade, AD is now selected. Continue.
New Orleans got Zion after the AD trade to
LA. AD left
to LA.
Okay, so still the centerpiece is AD.
Cooper gets and
what happened just now?
Yeah. Hey,
after the AD
trade got traded,
we look at that trade a whole lot differently now.
AD got traded, so AD is the set of keys to this whole entire thing.
I was going to say LA.
That is eerie. I was going to say
LA. But
it could be both.
I like it though. I like it.
The fit for Cooper Flag is interesting. Him playing the 3. Supposedly he's grown like 1.5 inches since the NCAA tournament. He just turned 18 as well. Like he'll be the youngest. I believe he'll be the youngest player in the NBA because he'll be 18.
He's closer to 6'10" there.
Yeah.
Wow. He grew 1.5 inches
since the tournament. They measured him at the combines this week, or the combine was Monday.
It was a different scale. Go ahead.
So the fit is interesting because he'll have to play the 3, and then you have this long front line of AD and Gafford or Lively as well. Kyrie comes back the end of next season. This is a pretty good to great team. I'm just wondering, is Dallas done making moves? Because you have the future in your hands with Cooper Flag. Do you now try to flip AD? Do you now try to get pieces for him? I think this opens up a world of different. This opens up everything for Dallas, in my opinion. The timeline doesn't fit in a tough Western Conference. I don't know if they can compete for a title next year with Kyrie coming back late into the season. Now, if you want to say 2 years from now you're banking on AD being healthy in 2 years. You're banking on Cooper's development. I feel like you're banking on a lot. And I feel like if you strike with the iron side, I'm not saying you do that, but I think you open up the possibility to try to get additional assets by trading AD. But I like the fit. I like going to organizations where they have a culture of winning. If you really want to say that about Dallas, I'm not sure about the leadership with Nico and some of what he's done. He did construct the team that went to the NBA Finals last year. Then he traded their best player, but he ultimately got the first overall draft pick. So it's a lot to take in. But I think the fit is there. I really want him to go to San Antonio. I really like what they're doing there. That's what I was hoping for when I saw the last 4 teams. I really wanted San Antonio. I feel like Vic and Cooper Flag could have done something. And San Antonio has a ton of assets as well. They got 2 picks this year. They still got the Hawks pick next year and year after from the DeJounte Murray trade as well. So going down there in Texas, maybe they get a certain freak down there too. I'm calling it now. I know we're gonna talk about it. I'm calling it now.
So Cooper Flag is a legit 2-3, right?
He had 3-4.
Yeah, he played the 4 in college, but I mean they had the 7-2 guy at Duke as well. So he really didn't have to guard the basket, but he can play on the wing. Don't know how he can guard on the wing with bigger guards. When someone is, your height, your weight, and they can move faster than you, that'll be interesting. But he can start off at the 3. I don't know if he'll finish games at the 3. Maybe he finishes at the 4 with AD at the 5. Maybe that's how you finish off. But to start off, you got to play the 3. But I think he'll get beat on defense regularly with some of the wings in the league, in my opinion, at least next year.
Okay. Again, as a Spurs fan, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. But
I was rooting for y'all.
So how far we going to talk? Because
go ahead.
Y'all got Spurs got the number 2 pick, right?
And you like them better than Cooper?
And 14.
It gives you leverage.
True.
To go get Giannis over Dallas. To me.
Oh yes. They still got Atlanta's pick. They got Atlanta's pick. Yes.
I wouldn't even be like doom and gloom for real. Like I'm thinking because Giannis did state that he'll go to play for a team with no state income tax.
I do it. I go all in.
He wants to play with a center, like a bona fide center. Like I'm not playing the center position.
And he got a point guard.
When
he got a backup point guard.
What Brook Lopez wants to be, right? Like it's not foreign for him. So if I'm San Antonio, I'm like, what do I have to? What Milwaukee? What you want? But besides my center and my point guard, whatever you want.
They can offer.
Are you offering De'Aaron Fox?
I said besides my point guard and my center.
I don't think you. I mean, you can't do it. He only got 1 year left. So unless you think you're going to re-sign there, you won't trade for him. If I'm in
so you can take the rookie of the year. We'll give you Stephen Castle. We'll give you number 2 overall pick, and we'll give you about 5 number 1s to go with it.
And the problem is, the good thing is, they can give you 5 number 1 picks, like you said, and then not even be their own picks. They can give you all Atlanta's picks from this year's draft and the next 2 drafts, and not even touch their own pick.
I don't know if I'm giving up Castle though. I like him
for Giannis.
You talking about Giannis?
I'm just saying. I mean, the fit.
I don't think Castle's role was as big if Wemby is healthy.
True.
So,
but what
fit when Giannis dives and Wemby wants to play outside?
Oh, I love Giannis. Y'all know that. That's what
I'm saying. Like
I'm just saying, is he a good replacement? Is that what Milwaukee would do? I'm trying to think from Milwaukee's perspective.
I think Milwaukee does it because Milwaukee doesn't have their own draft pick.
That you get a number 2 overall pick. Like Calvin said, they lost all. They have no draft picks. They are strapped. So you get 5, 6 draft picks. You're
getting Atlanta's picks, so they can still be lottery picks. Not like you're getting San Antonio's picks at the bottom of the first round. You're getting Atlanta's picks. They can still be top 14. You get lucky ones at top 5. So you have that leverage as well. So we're giving you picks from this team that could possibly be a bad team as well, especially if they decide to trade Trae Young or if something happens down in Atlanta.
And I want to push back on that Dallas point that you brought up, Calvin. I was waiting for Larry to get done. I disagree 100%. I believe if you plug Cooper in right now with Klay Thompson and AD and Gafford and PJ Washington, they are good enough to at least contend, just like they did this past year, without the talent of Kyrie being there in a sense, and without Cooper Flag being there. If you tell me that Kyrie's going to be ready by by January, pretty much right before the All-Star break, so you have that All-Star break and then the rest of the season, which is probably about 25 games or so. I'll take
plenty.
that. That's plenty. That's plenty of time to get reacclimated into that system.
So the only thing I say is I don't expect Kyrie to be Kyrie next year. I expect him to be in some growing pains, trying to get back into the flow. That's
right.
One.
So he won't shoot as much, so he'll pass a little bit more.
Okay, and that's one. And two, I don't think that team minus Kyrie is a playoff team. They may be a play-in team, but I don't think
that's good enough.
6.
That's if they 7 through 10, that means you're in striking range, and you tell me that they can clear the lane for themselves. Cooper would then have a whole damn season. Pretty much seasoning.
I don't even know if
and you talk about his defense. I hear you on defense. I brought that up too. But you got the young boy Lively and AD playing your backup. Like as your defense. Like that's probably top 3 in the league.
So but I still don't like so I would have no Kyrie. I got OKC, Houston, Denver, Clippers, Minnesota, Memphis,
right. We see how
San Antonio.
We see how it panned out. They was right there in striking range. You X out Sacramento because they trash.
I didn't count Sacramento.
But I'm saying they was one of the top 10 this past year.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. You exit one of them and whoever else, they play for it. I'm just saying I like the team right now. I hear the future talks. I don't like the future talk. I guess the here and now is Cooper Flag.
I agree with that. I guess my thing is if Giannis comes to the West, he comes to Houston or San Antonio. I have that team ahead of Dallas as well. I just think Dallas's window would be the year after when Kyrie is closer to 100%. And now, you're banking on AD to be healthy another year. I just think it's too many what ifs, and I think you can flip depending on what happens. Like if OKC loses to Minnesota or loses to Denver, and you could flip AD to OKC for some of their assets as well. I think you can build faster that way, and I think that way it's more sustainable because the timeline is there because they fit age wise, and you don't have a 30-year-old AD, a 31-year-old Kyrie, and an 18-year-old Cooper Flag. They just don't mesh age-wise. And when Cooper Flag hits his peak, AD and Kyrie will be done. So I don't think you can win a title next year with this Dallas team. I think that window is 2 years from now. And you're banking on AD being healthy, you're banking on Kyrie being healthy, and you're banking on the merger of Cooper Flag. So you're asking for a lot, in my opinion. So if you can strike with the irons hot and get assets for AD and continue to build around Cooper Flag, I think that's the plan.
I just
for
think
the
it's
sustainable
tough
future.
getting rid of AD.
I don't think it's tough because I think there are 4 out of the remaining teams that play. You could probably say 2 or 3 of them. Trade for AD if they lost.
As in, if you're not getting someone like Giannis in return, and you're just getting a whole bunch of assets, it's like AD is a playoff performer. He just got to get there. Okay. But we acting like AD is a slouch. Like he'll give you close to 35 and 10 with 3 to 5 blocks to go with it. Like he's too much of a defensive piece that you traded Luka for just to give up on him. That's all I'm saying. For assets.
I see what you're saying, but like I said, I think OKC would do that deal. You maybe say Indiana would do that deal. Cleveland doesn't have any assets. If AD wanted to go to New York, would y'all trade Bridges and
I don't want
something else to get him?
We good.
You say that now.
He doesn't fit the orange and blue sky.
But even and I just think even like in Boston, maybe they do something with them with trying to combine.
Boston is iffy because we don't know how Boston is going to shape up. We might be seeing the end of Boston how they are right now.
Yeah, so I just think for Dallas to be successful in the long term, it may be time to just try to align everything with Cooper Flag. If you think he's next, if you think he's him, if you don't think that and you think he's going to need some help, then maybe you gotta roll with this for a couple of years. But I just don't think you're relying on too much saying I need AD to be healthy for 2 more years because I don't think Kyrie's gonna be back to him next year. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm sorry, guys. This game is torture over here. I'm over here. I'm trying to
facial reactions.
I'm trying to not to pay attention to this crap, man. Look, Cleveland cut it to 1.
Cleveland was up 50. It was up like 10.
Who? The Pacers were.
No, Cleveland, late first half, early second half. I'm doing that 17-2 run.
They had just cut it to 1. And then get hurt. They ain't called. The coach refused to take a timeout, so they just playing 5-on-4 for like the last. They still ain't took a timeout. I don't know if they ain't got no timeouts.
Who got hurt?
Darius Garland. He on the
He
court
got hurt,
limping
yeah.
all over the place. They finally got him out of there on the last little, but they still haven't taken a timeout. So
He
man,
walking back in
Halliburton
now.
just been going to work, man. Man, and you know, Donovan was hurt. He wasn't even supposed to play this game. He giving it everything he got, limping up and down the court.
He got 29.
Hitting threes, doing everything he can, man. It's a closeout game. This is absolutely pathetic. I don't know what the coaches think. What's the coach name? Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah. Come on, hit this. Oh my God, they can't buy a three. There you go, Donovan. God, he missing bunnies. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, the playoffs is in, and this. Let's start with this Boston and New York series while I get tortured over here. Look, man, a week ago it was one game. We said, well, you know, shooting too many threes. Boston was just jacking them up left and right. That won't happen again. Well, game 2 did it again, and New York made them pay. So you go back to Boston. Go back to New York, down 0-2.
Down 2 games.
And of course, Boston do what they're supposed to do.
They kicked their ass on Saturday.
And then game 4, man.
We lost on Saturday. They ain't missing kick our ass. I don't like the way you
Here we go.
Did y'all lose by like 25?
In every game,
were y'all
Boston
down by
had,
25? Every game?
In every game, Boston has had a significant double-digit lead, and New York has rallied back every time, except for that one where they lost. But wow, man, even the game the other night, Boston had a significant lead, and it just floundered like nothing. Tatum goes down with the injury, but that had nothing to do with the momentum in that game. It was over.
Yeah, that game was over.
So I don't want to hear nothing about, Tatum got hurt. No, y'all let them walk y'all down when you were up big, and Tatum was perfectly healthy and had a big night. So I could see if Tatum was cold, they just got beat down. Justin, walk us through this series and what you've seen and where you see this going down.
Well, first we got to give some love to JT. He was having one, arguably probably top 3 of his best games that he ever played. He only missed like less than 5 shots. Like the dude was on fire. He would have caught that L, but he definitely was on fire, and he was pretty much the only one on that team. And it came out that it was the Achilles. He already had the surgery, so he's already on the rehab tip. So, you know, I figure he'll be back next year. You know, he should just take a good year off and just come back. If he tries to make it back before the pretty much after the All-Star break is a good window on the if everything goes right part of it. I think that's a little bit too soon. Don't rush it. Who knows where y'all be at that particular point in time. But with that being said, you know, we up 3-1. It's not over. We gotta see what JB can do. That is Jaylen Brown. He's the one that was Larry Bird recipient of Larry Bird Award, finals MVP. It seemed like as soon as he cut his hair, he just lost all his powers. It's somebody, Sanford? Somebody, it's a biblical person. Samson. There you go. That's the pastor right there. Shout out to the man. Once he cut his hair, he lost all his powers, and that's exactly what happened with Jaylen Brown. He's just not the same guy. He's back to turning the ball over and everything like that. I don't see that same leadership like I did last year. I don't know what happened. Even Al Horford said that they lost the leader. He didn't say I lost one of our leaders or we lost one of our leaders. No, he said we lost our leader. So he singleized it. So that shows you the dynamic between JT and JB, and we'll see. Am I, worried about game 5 a little bit? They're gonna come out guns blazing. If JB has a good game, which he has not, I'm worried about little Pritchard running around, shooting, jacking up shots. But at the end of the day, the Boston Celtics should have won this series. And I'll say this: they rely too much on threes, and when they don't fall, you give an opportunity for us because we lived in the paint, we outscored them in the paint, and that's pretty much how we won these games. If JT and JB took the opportunity to drive way more than what they did, and actually play regular basketball, so this might be a Joe Mazzulla kind of a thing. It might be. I'll blame him. Let's put the blame on him because he has that Mike D'Antoni type of philosophy, where as though the average is going to fall to us. Like you just keep playing, and the average, whatever we did, the average is going to come back to us. So if we miss 30, next game we're going to make 15 to 20 more, right? That's his philosophy so far, and it's just not working. And you have two of the most dynamic wing players on your team, and he just didn't take advantage of it at all, and pretty much played into our hand. That's why I wasn't really worried about it. I said somehow, some way we was going to win this series in 6, and I might be one game at before that. It's just we brought in people, which is Mikal Bridges, and we paid OG to play their wings head up and not have to and switch most of our game. That's what they've been doing. They've been switching everything. And when Jalen Brunson, once he goes off, it's a Brunson burner, and everybody's on fire. So, I can't say I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this kind of a butt whooping coming, but, we're here now. We just got to close it out.
Excellent analysis. Your thoughts, Calvin?
I think this is going to be a next time. Just with the injury to JT, with the poor play by the Celtics in those first 2 games in the fourth quarter. This is their time, and I think they need to end this series early. They have a tough series upcoming, which appears to be with the Indiana Pacers, a team that can get up and down the court, a team that's electric on offense as well. But the Knicks have been playing well down the stretch in 3 of the 4 games. It was 22 points that y'all lost by. I was close.
It was 25.
Y'all were down by 25 at some point, at multiple points throughout the game.
Okay.
But look, that's asking a lot. But at this point, Knicks fans have something to cheer about. Makes it exciting seeing the Garden electric on a Saturday afternoon. Don't know why they won a Saturday night game out either. People just getting pissed at these Cleveland Cavaliers, I see.
This dude missed 3 free throws. Go ahead.
Was that
3?
Yeah, I think it was. He just made 1. We just made I thought you made a 3. But yeah, look.
He just made a 3, but he missed 3. It should be a tie game right now had he made his free throws.
Like I said, the Knicks have played hard. I give y'all props. You can't even account for the Tatum injury. Like I said, like you said, that game would have been over. That game was over regardless. It was a 9-point game with 1:10 left, I believe, before that injury. So they were looking at a 3-1 lead going into it. But now it's time to finish the deal in Boston. They already won 2 in Boston. Now it's time to finish the deal. Hopefully we see that what they play Friday night.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow. Game 6 will be Friday. I take that back.
Yeah, close it out. End it. Tatum is done. I mean, just like these Cavaliers, man, just put them out their misery, man. I'm over it. This is pathetic. You let the Indiana Pacers come into your house and run you out the gym. Now, I give you. Let's skip ahead to this game now because it's on. Whatever. Look, man, it's a do or die game. You let these guys come into your crib, and look, whatever you say about Tyrese Halliburton, the man's been coming up big every night. Give him his credit. And tonight he got like 30. Come on, Donovan, get to the cup. You don't even want him to foul. You can't make free throws. It's over. Game over. It's over. This is pathetic. The number 1 overall seed in the NBA all year had winning streaks. Injuries hurt them the first 2 games. I will say that. Having all them players be out, they should have won game 2, choked that away.
Yeah.
Losing 120 to 119 at home, unacceptable. They choked away game 1 as well, if you recall. But look, man, just unacceptable. To get blown out the other night like they did, that was just pathetic. And the nail in the coffin. And then this despicable display tonight with your best player, Donovan Mitchell, who I love, who is one of my favorites, You can't miss all them free throws, man. You get to the line
Maybe
down
a
6.
foul.
You get to the line down 6 and miss all 3 free throws. You deserve to lose. I'm sorry. Is that a foul? Ooh, and one. So he's still alive, but yeah, it's over. It's over. What's your thoughts on this series, Calvin?
Cleveland got off to this terrible start. I especially at home losing both games. The second game, like you said, they were up with Donovan Mitchell going off, scoring 40 points. You give up that late lead and lose that game late. And then to come back in game 4 and be down, 44 at halftime? Something like
Jesus.
that. And to have that type of performance in a game that's almost must win on your opponent's home floor, and you come out flat and only score 36 points and give up 80 and a half. At that point, you knew they were done, but this was the best team in the regular season. Maybe they just ran out of gas, but we had high hopes for this team. We had hopes for a Cleveland, Boston, the Eastern Conference Finals, kind of the two best teams in the East going toe to toe. But
Damn.
now we got to start asking questions. Is it the backcourt? Can you play Mobley and Allen together? Like you got to start asking these questions. They had a great regular season, but if you don't make it to the conference finals and you led your team or led the conference in wins with 60+ wins, second in the entire NBA, and you lose in 5 in the second round, you got to start asking those tough questions.
Your thoughts, Justin?
Nobody cares about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know why you do. I didn't necessarily
Best team in
care
the
for
East.
them whatsoever. That meant nothing to me all season. They
You're
just
right, y'all ain't
don't-
beat nobody in the East in the regular season.
it's about the playoffs, and that's what matters the most. It depends on if you show up during the playoffs. And Donovan just has his issues in the playoffs. He's a high volume kind of a guy, and there was a time I wanted Donovan over JB. I should slap myself if I
You
could
still
go back in
should.
time.
Everybody
I'ma slap
did.
myself. No, damn it, some people called it the right way, and I should have paid more attention. The guy just doesn't have what it takes to win series. It's just it is.
Ho.
That's
Let's
disrespectful.
not give him that label.
That's
When
kinda
game
disrespectful.
1,
It's
he was
not.
without
It's not.
everybody. Game 2,
Not.
without everybody, and he's still producing both games.
And
Don't
they
act
should have
like
won
this is
game. They
all
should have
on
won
him.
game 2.
He should have. And then he
Are
did win game 3. And in game
done?
4, they just he got
You're
hurt. He did get
Okay.
hurt. If you go back and watch the game.
Utah had like top tier teams when he was over there too. They was like 1 or 2, 3 top 3 seeds.
They were not top tiers. It was him and Rudy
They
Gobert
had
and
a
an
top
Asian
seed
Mike
1 year.
Conley.
They had the top seed.
But they
They
were
had a top
and
seed
they
because of
1
lost.
year.
him. Because of him, not like
And-
the roster was
And
fat.
they lost.
Okay.
And I don't even think they went to the conference finals. Once again,
No, I thought that was the Clippers won the conference finals, I believe.
Cleveland
Once
Cavaliers.
again, that's probably like his first and second year in the league. You act like you've
Okay.
been in the league
No.
forever.
Okay. It wasn't.
It
Okay.
wasn't.
Cleveland Cavaliers, number 1 seed, second round, lost in 5. I'm just saying, it follows you. So
It
you
don't
gotta
follow
outperform
It's
it.
like saying, what has Jalen Brunson done in this league? Right, first time he ever make the conference finals, right?
Took out Utah Jazz.
I'm talking
Jalen
about.
Brunson.
Has he been?
He took out Utah
Has
Jazz.
he
while-
been
while
to
he
the
was
conference
playing- While he
finals?
was playing
This
in
is the
Dallas.
first time getting there. Don't try it like
While
he
he
a
was playing
perennial
in Dallas.
winner or something.
That's all I'm saying.
You
That's all
ain't
I'm
saying
saying.
nothing. Go ahead.
Sound like you hurt right now. That's what it sounds like. You gotta let
You
that
know,
hurt
you
get
heard
off,
every
bro.
year. Your team finally won a game, and no,
I'm not-
you
no,
didn't
this-
even pick them.
This is me all day, every day. I'm not changing anything. You're the one that's
You're a
having issues
hater.
right now, but it's okay. You lost to the Pacers. It happens. We did last year too. All our players was actually like really hurt. They wasn't like coming back and being healthy, but
So you like y'all this year?
Huh?
You like y'all this year?
If we get past Boston, which we should, no doubt.
And how many games?
I'll give them 5.
That's disrespectful.
It's not. I don't think they can beat us.
Disrespectful.
They played very similar to what Boston did when they rely on threes on top of that, which is cool. It is what it is. Halliburton is playing for phenomenal. We got people for him. It's okay. They barely beat us last year. And we had an injured Julius Randle. He didn't even play the whole series. He didn't play at all, actually. Josh Hart got hurt. JB got hurt. OG got hurt. Mitchell Robinson was hurt. They was pretty much healthy. And we took them 7 games. So I have no fear in this team in my heart whatsoever for the Indiana Pacers. It is what it is, and they can't stop us. They can't stop nobody on our team. So there you go.
There you go. Good luck. All right, let's get back. Let's get into the Western Conference. Golden State in Minnesota. Last night we saw Golden State go down again. So now they trailing the series 3-1. Minnesota looking to close them out on a Wednesday night. Calvin, is it over?
It's a wrap. No Steph Curry until at least game 6. Jimmy Butler took 9 shots in game 4. Number one option took 9 shots. What happened to playoff Jimmy? I thought this guy was going to step up in the absence of Steph Curry. You can't take 9 shots in a game like that when your team is relying on you. I just don't understand what happened. But Randall has probably played his best playoff series ever. He's really stepped up, and he's been that 1-2 punch with Ant. Ant has stepped up as well. And I think it's key for them to kind of get this next game and get some rest because they will be on the road next series, regardless of who wins. So let's get home, get some rest, and they'll be going back to San Francisco. So win that game, get some rest. Don't let Steph come back and probably turn that series. So I think it's over in 5. I think it's over tomorrow night, and I think Ant and Randall just been too much. And that 1-2 punch inside with Gobert has proved to be too much. When you're out rebounding your opponents by 10 and 20 rebounds, when you're getting offensive rebounds, when you're taking more shots than your opponent because you're getting offensive rebounds, all those things add up. And especially in a game that's been kind of grinded out and they've been poor shooting performances and no Steph Curry on the other side, that's been winning ball games.
What's your thoughts, Justin?
Anthony Edwards is, we can call him definitely RKO. He is the modern day Randy Orton. He is the legend killer. Yeah. Got Luka and LeBron out here.
There was no Steph. Can you count this one?
I don't care. I don't care. It was your team. You got out of here. So shout out to playoff Jimmy. He killed that legend, right? So we can take that. What he did in the third quarter, I don't know if you guys actually watched the whole game. He just said, y'all guys aren't going to beat us tonight. And he just took over. And it started late in the second quarter. Buzzer beat at half. I mean, the dude has a 3-point shot now that's just it's effortless for him. Now, will it go in? Now he still got to work on his percentages, but he can fire it up like it's not even affecting him. Like he's turning into one of those dudes for real. And him and Julius, they have a great 1-2 punch right now. They're not relying on Rudy at all because they don't need him. Naz Reid has been performing. Their complementary players has been performing. They're just taking the Warriors out, and there's nothing that the Warriors can do. And once Jimmy Butler says, I'm going to shoot 9 times, it's definitely over. So, next.
Yep, it's over for them. So, let's move on. And the final matchup that we have to talk about, Game 5 coming up tonight between the Denver Nuggets and the OKC Thunder. This one here, I know a lot of you all expected the Thunder just to cakewalk, my guys, but Denver putting up a fight. Jokic and the boys, look, they're not a deep team. They basically run a 6-7 man rotation with Russ coming off the bench. It's going to bite them long term. They're giving it everything they got. I give them credit. OKC, they just deep, man. They are deep, and they are defensively. They are very scrappy. And the referees have not been kind to the Joker and the Denver Nuggets. Let's put that on the table, first of all. But SGA, great player.
Shea hasn't been going to the line as he normally
does. I was getting ready to say that's false. We're not giving that.
Is he supposed to get every call or something? Is this not the playoffs?
But you acting like Joker don't get no calls. That's why I'm like, I disagree with that statement.
Joker begin hacked left and right. They got still shots and everything. Joker gets smacked in the face.
They Joker just not calling it.
Oh, you know what's crazy? On the picture you have right there, the foul was called. He's upset.
No, it wasn't.
It was. He got upset because it wasn't an and one.
It should have been an and one.
He got fouled on the floor before his shot.
No, it wasn't on the floor. Just before that, the play before that, SGA got an and one on the same play.
When he was in motion shooting.
I can pull a video. They showed SGA go down. They get him an and one. They like, I didn't even touch the guy. Joker, they call a foul on Joker. The next play, Joker go do the same thing. Oh, it's a foul on the floor after Joker hit the shot. That is bull crap. and that's an NBA champion, 3-time MVP you're looking at, and he not even getting calls. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I ain't crying about it. But I tell you this, you don't wanna. The Thunder are lucky. This is 2-2. They are lucky because
Jokic has not played a good game in the last 3 games, and they're lucky it's 2-2. They won 2 of those.
What that tell you?
They won 2 of those 3. They won 2 of the 3. They won 2 of the 3. They won 2 of the 3.
Joker ain't played a good game in the last 3 games,
and they won 2 of the 3. And they won and the others played well at home in game 3, and they won a home game, which a role players do. Jokic didn't play well in the 3 games. They won 2 out of 3. The others played well at home. It happens.
I just think you're missing the point. Who is the home team here? Who has the home team court advantage? All right, so I think the Nuggets have done just well enough. The cover serve is 2-2, heading back to OKC tonight. Let's see how it go down. Ain't nobody like shook. Ain't nobody scared of the Thunder. Like, okay, it's fine. Congrats. They 2-2 going into game 5.
You're right. It's 2-2. The others play well at home. They're supposed to.
On both accounts. On both accounts,
the Nuggets others played well in Denver in game 3. That's what I meant.
Okay. Are they not supposed to? I mean, go ahead.
They're supposed to.
Thoughts.
I just think that right now they have Jokic's number right now. With the big bodies they have, he's shooting at a very low percentage. 7 for 21, something like that. He just went for. He hasn't been playing well, and if you keep up the same defensive pressure on him, and we just see where we're going to be at the end of the series. To me, it's not looking good for Denver. But Jokic is a great player. He's a multiple-time MVP. So he should be able to bounce. He should be able to find his crack. But at the end of the day, when you have 7-footers that can go test him, and I'm talking about like more than one, you got to have more than one. He struggles from time to time, and this is just one of the times where he's struggling. So I think he'll right the ship, but it might be too late. They might be up. They might be down or looking up, and it could be over. But it's still gonna go. I say a strong 6-7, no doubt.
So you got winning series.
I still got Thunder winning the series.
How about you, Calvin?
I still got the
Thunder. I just want on the record.
I got the Thunder, but if Denver's
supposed to be home already, the Clippers supposed to beat them. But I just want to make sure.
If Denver wins tonight, I don't think OKC wins a closeout game in Denver. So they got to win tonight to win the series.
How Jamal Murray been playing?
Well, he ain't played good last game.
He had a good game 3. Look, I hate.
I know you hate Jamal Murray.
No. I don't hate Jamal Murray. I hate the down talk about Jamal Murray. Like we there's always this talk of Jokic doesn't have an all-star, and they always downplay Jamal Murray. The only time Jokic won was with a healthy Jamal Murray. He needs Jamal Murray. I hate the down talk of Jamal Murray and his play. He plays well. He could be an all-star. It's a deep guard position in the West. But I just hate this down talk on Jamal Murray when Jokic only wins the title because of Jamal Murray. But no one talks about that.
So Jokic don't win because of Jokic too, though. Jokic don't carry his
without Jamal Murray. Jokic was a 6 seed.
Well, what team do? What team you do know don't have a other than
and that's why he won.
He didn't play great.
I hate
he didn't play great when he won against Utah. But Jamal Murray surely outdueled Donovan Mitchell. You can add that one to Donovan Mitchell too.
Well, that's great. Cool. Whatever.
Just saying.
Jalen Brunson is not on the level.
We're not talking. No, we were talking about Jamal Murray. We were talking about Jamal Murray. We were talking about Jamal Murray. I can
go down Jalen Brunson's whole career and we
was talking about Jamal Murray.
Good job on
and
this
then
year
you brought up that. That's crazy.
No, you brought it up.
You was talking about Jamal Murray in the playoffs.
And bring up, he didn't play better. He played better.
You mentioned that, and I mentioned the time he played very well in the playoffs. That's all. I'm on topic. I stay on topic.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't jump
Jalen Brunson, year 1, 9 points a game. Year 2, 8 points a game. Year 3, 12 points a game. Year 4, 16 points a game. He went and had an expectation. Here we go. Donovan, 24, 25, 36, 32, 28, 27, 29, 28. Get out of here. He's just coming to this party. Donovan been here. Donovan been here.
Donovan been losing too.
Hey, but he been carrying his weight. That's what I'm talking about. He was expected. Your boy on the walking off the bench or a little role player, 9 points, 8 points,
Right. Okay.
12
So
points,
and then once he
16
got there,
points, 24 points,
once he got there,
28,
no
26.
one
Congratulations.
cares.
Never
No one cares
averaged
about
over
Donovan
30.
Mitchell. Honestly, no one ever really cared about Donovan Mitchell.
Hey,
That's the
somebody
sad part.
cared about him. He got
That's the
paid.
sad part, really.
Somebody cared about
No
him.
one really cares
Somebody
about
cared
Donovan Mitchell.
about him.
That's why he's
Somebody
really
went and
not.
paid him.
He's not a household
And
name.
I
No one
recall
cares about
the Knicks
Donovan
wanted
Mitchell.
him. The Knicks wanted him.
We sure
I
did,
recall
because we was gonna make
Exactly.
a name out of him. We was
Somebody
gonna make
cared.
a name out of him. But
Somebody
it
cared.
is what it is.
Somebody cared. My man averaged 25, 26, 29, 28, 26. Come on, man.
Second round, that's it.
We
5 games.
talking about stats. We ain't talking about just hopes and dreams.
Stat is
Hopes
losing
and
in 5.
dreams.
Second round.
Hey, y'all, congratulations. Y'all beat this.
Okay, according to this, they died.
Congratulations.
Donovan Mitchell
It's
died.
over.
According to that,
Congratulations.
he died.
But my man carried his weight.
Who would die? He didn't do. He died.
He did what he had to do.
He didn't make free throws.
Gotta have
He
a
died.
team. Gotta have that game was over by that point. But you
Oh,
could
okay.
have cut it to
Not
3, like
the
I
way
said.
you presented it, though.
And then what did he do? Calvin, what did he do the next after he missed a free throw? Came down right down and hit a 3. So he got them 3 points right back.
And I quote, "You deserve to lose if you can't make free
You did
those."
deserve.
That's what
It
you
is
said.
I'm mad at him.
Direct quote.
You ain't gonna disrespect
That was
the
from
coach
15
career.
minutes ago.
That's what you. I'm
Over
just
his team
going
not
off of what
showing
you
up.
say. You don't understand that?
My
You
man is
said
that guy. I'll stand with him. Still better than Jalen Brunson on his worst day. On his worst day. Here we
JB
go.
outdoed him.
Next
But
up, let's get into some NFL action because we got some unfortunate news here in Baltimore earlier today, and that is Darius Washington will now miss the entire season after his breakout year at safety. Now, we all know the Ravens were able to hold down the fort on the back end with moving Kyle Hamilton back to that deep safety, and they were able to put Darius Washington at the strong safety, allowing him to hold that. And he did a great job in that role after what we saw early in the year from guys the likes of Mike Wood. Who was that bum? I can't even think of his name now. Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson.
Oh man, just terrible. And then Darius Washington coming in, make himself a breakout star. Everything's looking good. Then the Ravens go draft the safety in the first round of the NFL draft this year. We thinking, this is gonna make us even stronger. Drop Kyle back to his original spot. You got Darius Washington. He can be a Swiss Army knife, play a little nickel package, play some dime, switch him in out as safeties. You can put 3 safeties on the field at the same time. But now he goes down with an Achilles. Calvin, huge blow to the Ravens. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, huge blow. Prayers go out to Darius. You're in the offseason, so you can still try to replace the production that he gave you last year. I've already heard Justin Simmons' name being mentioned, formerly of, I want to say Denver or Atlanta. I can't remember which one. So, but we'll see. And I think what happens is, that if you struggle with the 3 safety look, you have a fallback plan, which is moving Kyle back to that deep safety, but it's not really where you want him to be because he's kind of that Swiss Army knife. We could play anywhere, and you want to just see him all across the field, not knowing where he's going to line up. But, they just had this injury-riddled season a couple of years ago where it seemed like every day in training camp somebody new went down, and Lamar still dragged the team to 6-2, leading the conference at one point. And then he didn't finish the rest of that season. But it's still early. You can, try to replace the production and have him get healthy and have him kind of mentor that young person, if it's a young person, or mentor that replacement who would be new to Baltimore, but not the kind of news you want to start. And then with the season schedule coming out, not the kind of news you want to start start the.
Do you think they was going to start him, or they was going to start Starks right off the bat?
I think they were starting both of them. I think we're kind of going back to what we did a couple of years ago when you had Geno. I think that's what they were planning to do.
Yeah.
And when you had that 3 safety look, and you were able to put Kyle and nickel, and you had that strong outside linebacker, quote unquote safety that you couldn't run towards, that he would always have the edge as well and filter everything back to Roquan. And then last year when you had to play him deep, he could do that as well. So now you kind of got to see if you can replace Darius, if you can replace what he does. And if not, you got to move Kyle back, and you're relying on him just to play deep safety.
It's going to be different anyway.
Didn't y'all draft the safety?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
He was
Now,
basically the
Scott
Marcus
Clark.
Williams replacement though.
Yeah, because we run 3 safeties.
Yeah.
But I think the key would be to go out and get you a nickel. I think that's what there needs to be, the person that moves. And or because you lost Brandon Stevens, go get you another strong corner. Then you can possibly put Marlon at the
Back in the
nickel.
spot.
Yeah, and let him run the nickel. And then you can do
They haven't signed a corner, which has been
that's wild to me. That's wild to me.
And it leads me to believe that the Jalen Ramsey rumors were true. They just can't agree on how much they wanted to pay. And also, I think because of the Tyus Bowser situation being resolved and them getting a little bit more cap flexibility because they get that 1.8, I believe, added back, they could still make another move. But I still think a pass rusher is still going to get signed. A corner / safety is still going to get signed as well.
At this point, you wait till June. What's that? June 10th. You wait till that and see
the second round, the June cuts. Yeah,
and then see what happens. But I do think this injury will now accelerate that process and make them have to decide to make a move because you can't go into the season without.
The problem is, I think this makes you sign a corner and a safety.
I mean, you had to. You lost Stevens, and you didn't replace him.
Yeah, I mean, before this, you were only looking at a corner, but I think you need a corner and a safety now because you're going to try to replace his production, and then like if it goes bad, kind of like it did last year, you're just going to say, "Well, F it, we're going to go put Kyle back there." But you're going to
Geno Stone is did Cincinnati let him go?
He took a pay cut.
Okay,
so he stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to address that because that's a huge position, and that I thought that was going to be a strength of ours, but injuries happen, man. Injuries happen.
And now you got a rookie back there with Kyle.
Yeah. Other big news coming out of the NFL over the past week: the Dallas Cowboys traded for George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, I don't know, they signed DK Metcalf earlier this offseason, pairing him with Pickens. And we don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Steelers. But a lot of people assume that having those two receivers in that division will help that be a high-power offense. But now with the Cowboys trading for Pickens, that leaves DK by himself at receiver out there in Pittsburgh. And now on the other side, you give Dak Prescott another weapon down there in Dallas to throw to. It should offer up some big production. Before we get to Calvin, Justin, what was your thoughts on this trade?
I'm more interested on the fact that he's Twitter fingers a little bit on the way out. That's what you want to see. You want are the Steelers cheap? Well, it seems like they might be. Who else was against you? Who else is an issue there? Just let us know. It's just good. It's good. It's good content. And on top of that, it's just like, okay, maybe Mike Tomlin and the playoff success or the regular season success that he has is like it covers up a lot, and you don't even really dive into it because he try to have a Belichickian type of a ship here. So that's mainly what I'm interested in. Is a trade good for Dallas? Of course it is. I expect them to have. If they can figure out that running game situation, they should have a top 5 offense. I mean, they're really that good, and Dak can throw the ball as he proved 2 seasons ago. So, that part is understood. Steelers, I'm still scratching my head. Why give him up? Like, I understand if he was having issues. Sometimes this is football. Like, if he's not like seriously doing an AB, which I guess he might be, but if he wasn't an AB status, then you have to keep him because you have to have some type of difference maker, especially in the division that you're in. Like he's in the Ravens division. He's with Cincinnati, with Cleveland. Hell, Jerry Jeudy had a hell of a year. So you have to be some type of difference maker. So if you tell me that I got DK and I got George Pickens on both sides of the field, that's a difference maker because not everybody has that type of luxury. But they gave that up. And I still don't know whether they don't even have a quarterback right now. So that's true. Shout out to Pittsburgh for not knowing what they're doing.
Before you go, Calvin, I do have to address something. And it's probably why I struggle when people heap so much praise on Mike Tomlin. I always struggle with that. And I get he's a black man. And I love supporting black men in positions where there aren't a lot of us doing well. But I don't think Mike Tomlin is the glowing example of what we want to look for, which is why I struggle sometimes when Justin, even when you get frustrated with your head coach down there in Tampa. I think at least Todd Bowles has some sort of standard down there that I can't turn to and say, you're the reason why this team isn't this, or you're the reason why this team consistently fails in this department. I think there's a certain level of consistency that I see now from him. I know he wasn't there when Tom was there with BA and all that, but I just to me,
he was there,
but he wasn't like the head guy. I'm saying, like,
no.
I think Tomlin gets a lot of the reputation for positivity, but when you look back, some of these guys, man, you go back to Santonio Holmes getting traded for a fifth rounder, Martavius Bryant. You can we all know about Antonio Brown and what happened in Pittsburgh. Juju, remember Corvette filming in the locker room. Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. The list goes on, and now George Pickens adds to that list with these wide receivers that they go out there and get. And for this great team builder, this great team motivator, this guy who wraps his arms around these guys and able to get them to get on this page, they sure do have a lot of crash outs at that wide receiver position. And it's like, hey, we're just moving on to the next guy. And I'm like, at some point, do the coaches share any culpability? Then you got Cam Hayward coming out and say, we'll be a better team without him. And I'm like, at what point is this culture the problem? And I really have a problem with that. I know you're going to look at it from a Dallas aspect, Calvin, but I'm just looking at it from a Pittsburgh perspective. At what point is Pittsburgh and the culture there part of the issue? And that's a real issue for me.
You know what? You know what's crazy from the Pittsburgh side? All the guys you named, I don't think any of them were first-round picks. So they have an eye for talent at the receiver position. They just can't keep.
But then they become divas.
Outside of AB, they didn't keep him into a second contract. So even San Antonio, I don't believe. I think he signed with the Jets. But I fully believe now they're just looking at the draft next year for a quarterback. I don't think they're banking on Aaron Rodgers coming there, because if that was the case, you would have tried to keep Pickens even though you thought you weren't going to re-sign him, or what the
that would have been something more glowing for him to want to come to.
But from the Dallas perspective, it's another weapon on offense. You've redone your offensive line. You've redone your running back room, drafting individuals for both positions, and also signed Javonte Williams from Denver for your running back position. So you're kind of redoing this offense, and you redid it basically in the course of one offseason. I'm not saying Pickens will be there for the long term. I am saying he's a damn good number two. And if CD's going to get all this attention, he should be able to get some balls and get some looks. Now, I need him to understand that he's not the number one. He won't get the first looks. He may not, go a couple games without 4 or 5 catches in the game. It's about CD, and it's about him trying to feed off CD. And that's what he needs to understand, because there's a reason why he's not number one. He was going to be number one in Pittsburgh. He's not number one in Dallas. I do like the move. I do like the moves that being made on offense, protecting Dak, getting a better run game, and also getting a better receiver. You've done all three. You've done all three by getting younger as well. So you're not really signing aging veterans and trying to replace them at those positions. You went young offensive line in the draft. You went young and running back in the draft, and you sign a young receiver, or you trade for young receiver George Pickens. So I like the move as well.
Yeah, just imagine if they'd have went and got Derrick Henry last offseason and add him to that offense. Jesus. But shoulda, coulda, woulda.
But an old line though, so
yeah. But we'll be talking more NFL over the next month when those cuts happen. Clearly, mini camps and off-season trainings happen. Hopefully, people are staying safe, because we lost this guy in conditioning. Like, come on, man. Pisses me off.
He was at the facility?
I don't even know. I don't know. NFL Network reported it, so maybe. Let's get into some Orioles. So I was thinking about this because the Orioles had a 3-game stand this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, against Minnesota. And I was going to go down there tomorrow, but it looked like it's going to rain most of the week. So the game today got canceled. Not sure if the game tomorrow. But it's a time to kind of like refresh. Let's restart. Let's get our head back, unclouded. You know what I mean? It's only May. really a month and some change in. We talked about the last several weeks of the Orioles struggling thus far this season. But here's some of the keys that I thought was thinking about. And I read an article the other day, some of the keys to the Orioles turning things around. And I'm going to read off some of these, and then you all give me your opinion on what contributing factor this can have. And a glimmer of hope for the viewers. We've been a little negative talking about some of the things with the team the last few weeks, rightfully so, because it's been kind of negative. But one positive thing to look at, if you're going to look at how they're going to turn this thing around, number one is Gunnar can get hot in June. I'll go back and I look at what Gunnar Henderson was able to do last June for the Baltimore Orioles, where he was on a tear, home run guy, put himself as one of the big guns in the Derby in July. But June, he was absolutely smoking. Bat was popping. Things was just happening. The home run ball was going out of the yard left and right. And this is only early May. So there's time. The weather's starting to turn. Gunnar can get hot. Calvin, what's your thoughts? Can Gunnar lead the Orioles back?
I believe last year when Gunnar got hot, Santana got hot with him as well. So they were a good 1-2 punch. Okay. There's no Santana here. Tyler O'Neill has been struggling, just came off the IR. Can Gunnar get hot? Yes. Gunnar didn't have a spring training. He had that oblique issue. He joined the team about 4 or 5 days in. So he's still kind of working to get through there. And he's kind of had his spring training and he's kind of had his start to the season. He's trying to get back. Yet that can happen, yes. But who else will help him in the lineup? That's the key question. Because when you had him and Santander hitting 10+ home runs in a month, you had that 1-2 punch. One year they batted, I think, 1 and 4. So it wasn't like they were back to back, but you still had that 1-2 punch where you probably face both of them in the same inning. So someone else has to help out Gunnar if he's going to have this hot streak. Who's that going to be? That's the question.
Justin, your thoughts? Can Gunnar get it hot and get the Orioles back on track?
Yes, we have to give. Well, this is his leadway in coming back into shape because he was hurt. So, he didn't start off the season just like everybody else. They're hitting the ground running. So he had to go through his changes and everything. So he's finding his swing. So I'm not worried about Gunnar. Kevin makes a good point. Is who's going to come up with him. Jackson Holiday has been playing very well. So I do expect him to continue his maturation in the second year. I know that Kobe Mayo has started to get a lot of burn because of Jordan Westburg injury. So hopefully he can he can turn it around as well, play better. I think Adley Rutschman, he has to play better. We gave him a lot of money. He needs to play better. So we have talent that can play. Hopefully Cedric can still be that old vet that we need to make timely plays. I don't need him to be all around, all world, but I need you to be timely. I need you to make key plays. He's not far from that. It's just he needs to be in position to make those plays. If we're down by freaking 5, then he's not in position to make a great play. So I think Gunnar will hit that stride. I think June is prime time for him, and I think the others will hopefully they'll join them.
Okay, number 2 thing on my list, and this is because he's young, he has upside, and he has room for growth. And if you've been looking at the numbers here lately, he hasn't been playing terrible, and that's Holiday. Holiday's young. He's a guy you can build around. He's a guy who can hit his stride. And if you look at it, what he's been doing from a batting perspective hasn't been terrible. He's not, I'm not going to say he's Santander, but he can be that guy who also, like a Gunnar, can give you a spark. Calvin, can Holiday find his stride and help the Orioles get back on track?
Yeah, year 2 Holiday's been hitting better. It made that slight tweak in the swing. I don't know if you can expect him to play as well as Gunnar and move up in the order, but I do expect him to hit better as it gets warmer. As it gets warmer, that ball carries a little bit more in Oriole Park. He's had, like I say, he made changes in his swing. He's going opposite way and up the middle a little bit more. He's been driving in runs. He's been kind of trying to be that spark towards the bottom of the lineup. So I believe he can hit his stride. But once again, this is his first full year in the majors as well. Yeah. So I think we have to temper our expectations a little bit to what we expect from him, because we want to expect Gunnar 2.0, but maybe that won't be here right now. But yes, I do think he needs to find his stride. He needs to start hitting better And I think once you get Westberg back as well, you solidify the infield, you'll be good to go.
What's your thoughts, Justin?
Well, let's like you said, first and foremost, he's 21, right? We have to remember that. Um, so he barely is able to drink alcohol. Like like that's what we're talking about here. Has he gotten better? He's far better than what he was last year. Um, like I said, he shortened his swing. That's what he did. He shortened the stride in the string. He was taking a huge step. He shortened that, and what that does is it creates less time, less things you have to do in order to see, less things that you have to do for you to see the ball coming your way. That's what that does. It creates less distractions. Did that help him? It sure did. I know that he was striking out at 33%, like something along those lines. He's dropped that. He's like in the low 20s now. So his strikeouts are becoming fewer. So he's doing all the right things to make that step. It's like you said with Gunnar and everything else. It's everybody else around him. We have two key pieces right now. We have Gunnar and we have Holiday. I'm okay with those two.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got to come to play.
What about O'Neill? What's his deal?
Tyler just got to play better.
Got to get healthy and play better and hit left-handed pitching, which is what he was brought here to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, number 3 on my list. The rotation is starting to get healthy. Our opening day pitcher just came back this past week. We're seeing a little glimmer of hope here and there. Again, pitching is the weakness. We all can recognize that the bats haven't been popping, but we believe with the warmer weather, that can get better. But from a pitching perspective, have you seen anything that is giving you a glimmer of hope that things are starting to turn around? I liked the start the other day. I thought, again, baby steps, one day at a time. Calvin, do you have any hope that the pitching is starting to get healthier and can hit a stride?
The current rotation, no, because there's been no talk about Grayson Rodriguez as of yet. He has been shut down since spring training. He had a similar injury to Eflin, a lat strain. I guess it was a more severe lat strain. In most cases, those severe lat strains lead to Tommy John, as with Garrett Cole this year. Had an injury last year, made it through the year, and then it re-aggravated early in spring training and had to get Tommy John. So we're not talking any about Grayson Rodriguez, who's our number one at this point. So if you're not talking about bringing your number one back, how can everyone else fall into place? Now you're having people do things that they are unexpected, that they're not accustomed to doing. Until we address the starting pitcher, your ace, and only way you can address that now is by trading some of these young guys, because I don't think Grayson's coming back. The rotation won't get healthy. I don't think the rotation gets better. You need to rely on the bats at this point. The rotation won't get better, in my opinion.
Really?
I completely disagree. I think Grayson is coming back. I think he's coming back relatively soon. Hopefully, he comes back next month.
Did you heard that?
Yeah, it is rumors that he's coming back relatively sooner than not as opposed to not. Hopefully, we get Kyle Bradish coming back by the summer. Hopefully, Tyler Wells comes back. We have pitching that's on the men, that's on the positive side of the men's side. They like on the positive side of the IR. Like, they're coming back relatively soon. We just have to stay afloat till then. Zach Eflin has been looking better as of late versus how he started the season. Dean Kramer is looking better versus how he started the season. These are positives. Tom, I'm a butcher his name. The Japanese guy that we got, he's been
looking good,
solid.
For 5 innings, he's been looking good.
That's all he's gonna give you. He's like 35. We're not asking for a lot from him. Just
still early.
I'm gonna give you 5 innings. It's gonna be like 3 runs. Can you do better than that? Hey, I'm okay.
What about your bullpen?
Hey, the more pitching you have, the more flexibility you have after that. So I think that's the issue that you have once you get the full complement of pitches. You can move pitches around. Hey man, you was a starter. We got another starter back. I need you to go ahead on and handle innings 7 and 8 until our closer come in. You could be more flexible. You just need the pieces to do that with. So I just think it's a matter of time but can we stay afloat? Luckily, the AL, especially our division, the Yankees ain't blowing everybody away. It's still relatively close, and that's the only thing that we have that's really helping us right now.
Well, speaking of, next part, no one in the AL East or the wild card race is pulling away. So, look, if you look at the standings, these as of yesterday, the Orioles are only 8 games back. Now, that seems a lot, but they're only 4 games back of the last wild card spot at 15-24. So, look, 4.5, I think it might be 5 now, but they didn't play tonight. But anything can happen. That's a series. You know what I mean? Like, and you right there. A couple series go your way, and you right back in it. I think that the hope is still alive. The American League East has not been this blow-away division this year. Yes, the Yankees are top, and Boston's right underneath her, but hovering around 500. The Orioles can, like I say, a good week can put you right back in contention. Justin, your thoughts on that?
Like you said, you know, let's say I don't have the schedule in front of me right now, but if we have Tampa Bay one week and then we have Boston the next week and we sweep them, you know, we go 3-0 versus both of them. That's a 6-game jump. Like that's significant in this race. So it's not over. I mean, we could be in other divisions. We can be with the Dodgers and we'd be already out of playoff contention. Like it'd be already over. But we're not. We are in our division, and we can only play the games that's within our division related schedule. So you know that's the beauty of it. Like I said, as long as Boston is still struggling, like if you look at the schedule right there, we 3 games below underneath Boston. What that I mean, I say 5, but in a losing column, we're only 3 games below them. Like that's not that much of a deficit just to get in striking range. See, I guess your forward philosophy would be it's better to strike hot late than strike hot early. You know,
burn out like we did last year.
Burn out like we did last year. So that's the only thing they kind of got going for them. But at the same time, we got so much young talent. Once they get rolling, hey man, they could catch fire. They could be one of those teams. So it ain't over. But you know, it's the fat lady is putting her outfit.
It's getting late in the evening. Yeah,
putting on outfit.
Yeah. Calvin.
I mean, luckily no one is pulling away yet, and everyone seems to be struggling. But even looking at the teams that they have played, like they got swept by Minnesota. I think Minnesota is at the bottom of their division. You can't lose those type of games and still expect to be relevant late in the season. They played Minnesota this week, but you got to sweep them now to get even and kind of get those games back. And you have to score runs in those ball games as well. The fact that no one's pulling away is good. It makes you relevant come around trade time. But if you don't pull the trigger on any trades, you don't get better in any way, or you just stand pat, can you really expect to play better just standing pat? Can you really expect to pitch better by just standing pat? Justin talked about the pitchers that are coming back. We're relying on pitchers that haven't pitched in a year. Granted, they've been in this fit system, so we know them.
They're fresh.
I'm relying on them to go to produce more than 5 innings and not tax the bullpen because I have these guys coming back. I just don't see it working in the long run. But as long as they stay in the race, they're not out of it.
We're looking at this from an optimistic point.
That
was the whole point of this.
You are.
And then the final outlook is the front office and ownership are feeling some real pressure. If you look at the attendance numbers here lately, and some of the comments have been coming out, I think they're saying that people aren't too happy with what's been happening. And I think the pressure of that will have them to try to make some moves. In years past, we know what the ownership group has done and hasn't done. But will they stand pat with the manager? Will they stand pat with some of the players that we've been seeing? Or will they make some moves? What's your thoughts on that, Justin?
Well, you know, I think Elias had to come out and say something about this same subject. So he's feeling some pressure. The manager is feeling some pressure because honestly, the manager can't win this year. He's gone. I don't even think there's no hesitation with that because you have to do something to change that. I think he should have been gone already.
I think so too.
And let that spark be
You
the
mean
thing
this
to
year?
carry us. Yeah,
When they
this
got
year.
smoked by 20-some runs, it should I'd have
Um,
cleared his lockout for him that day.
but yeah, when well, we gotta see how this ownership reacts. Are they gonna play it cool and just like act like nothing is happening? Well, you getting right into that Peter Andrews type of a vibe.
Exactly.
Not necessarily caring about what what the fans are talking about. So if you was talking about how you're for the fans and used to be a fan and you're a fan of the team and all this other stuff that you pretty much ran your campaign on, well, this is the time. You need to make a move, and we'll see if they do or not. But this would be the opportune time to make a move. They didn't do it last year.
I don't think getting rid of Brandon Hyde it's like, oh, that's the magic switch that's going to happen and the team will be better. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's a combination of things. You bring somebody in with a different philosophy, then possibly then you will add different pieces that fits that philosophy. Clearly, right now, whatever's they're trying isn't working. So you need to change something up. Calvin?
I don't think Hyde has lost the locker room yet, and I think that's a key part of baseball. I think they still believe in him, still believe in his philosophies. I think they need a new hitting coach. I think they need to go that route and try to wake the bats up. But I think a lot of the pieces of this team fall
But you
on
want them to change
Elias.
their coordinator first before they fire the head coach.
Yeah, I don't get that
No,
because
I
the
want
hitting
to.
coach is an extension of the manager. Like
Correct.
that's under his staff.
But I want them to make a move that says, "Look, we got to get serious about what's going on, and if that wakes up everyone else, then let's go from there." But I don't think Hyde needs to go yet. That doesn't mean he shouldn't go at the end of the year, but at least right now, no. And even on Elias's part, I think how he approached free agency was wrong because once you knew you could not get Corbin Burns, you should have tried to get more bats. You should have tried to just have this offense be deadly and say, "Look, we're going to have to win games, 10 to 11 to 10. That's fine, but let's go for it this way." And I don't like that. Now, if you're relying on the young guys and want to see what they can do, bring them up to start the year. Like Mayo should have been up here. Basayo should have been up here. Like, let's go from them right then and there and see what they have. Don't just keep them down there and then try to not trade them, but not play them as well. Make a decision. And that's what's kind of frustrated me as well from Elias' point of view.
Well, I think you should have brought Santander back. I thought that was a tough move, but yeah. Anyway.
I agree.
So those are my 5 points. And we're looking at this from a positive aspect, and we'll continue to monitor the situation, and we'll check back in on next week on the Baltimore Orioles. Next up, let's talk about what we saw last week in the WWE. If you checked it out, did you all both watch Backlash last Saturday? So the main event was Randy Orton and John Cena. For what it was, I thought it was an entertaining match. A little smoke and mirrors here and there. R-Truth getting involved.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It was John Cena. I thought it was way better than that match with Cody at WrestleMania. I thought it was way better than that. But Randy did a good job laying it out. Yeah. And the crowd.
Well,
they were in
no,
St. Louis.
John, that was a good match on John's side too.
It was. I think he had something to prove.
He had something to prove.
And when you have a bad match like you have, you hear people talk about it. You want to go out there and prove yourself. But I thought they had a pretty good match, and it was a good way to finish the show. And I loved the press conference when R-Truth approached him at the interfered in the match, and like, "I got your back, John," and he put him with the RKO through the table. That was cool. Calvin, what did you think of the main event?
I guess I expected a little bit more. I expected some interference. I didn't think he would beat him clean, quote unquote. But for what it was worth, I did like the main event. I would like to see in that environment. It made Randy better, in my opinion, as great as he already is. Cena tried to come out and he did perform better than he did at WrestleMania. So I guess it's kind of hard for him just to wrestle once a month and kind of getting back into it. But for what it was worth, I liked it. I'm not impressed with the whole 5-match cards. That's something else I don't like, but that's another conversation.
I love them, but go ahead.
For this type of show, I need to see at least 1 or 2 more matches. I don't care if you want to say that they're on a shorter end, but if every match was not going to be of a decent length, I don't think we need these short cards.
See, I disagree because I'm coming to it from years of them stuffing 13 matches on a card and then cutting everybody's time just to get everybody on the show, and then people being upset. How come this match got this amount of time? This match got this amount of time. Or people just not getting the spotlight they deserve, or just throwing matches on the card. Remember we had Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views every month, and then they had all these matches, and nobody cared about nothing. But when you got 5 matches and you can focus on those 5 things, everything is important. And you got to look at it from a live crowd perspective. You sitting at home is one thing, but trust me, going to shows now ain't the same like it was when you was a kid or younger. You ain't mind. You be there all night. But when you're a grown man, you tired, you got to get up the next morning. Don't nobody want me sitting there all day watching no wrestling. And I've been to 6 WrestleManias. Like, no, 7 WrestleManias. Like, nah, man. I hate going to them long WrestleManias where you know you're going to be there for 9 hours or 8 hours. These short shows are refreshing, man. Get out of there 2.5, 3 hours. We good to go. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I think what's happening is these they're not one-offs. These in your houses, right?
They are. That's what they are.
Pay-per-views.
And it makes the big ones matter more.
A lot of people are saying that they're pretty much, that could have been a Raw match, right? Or that could have been a SmackDown match. Well, the thing with these pay-per-views is it's a way to have both, right? So if you go watch Raw, you're only going to see Raw talent. If you go to watch SmackDown, you're only going to see SmackDown talent. These pay-per-views are a mix, so it's like a Raw down, as I said. It's like you get 1 or 2 matches from here, and you get 1 or 2 matches from over there, and then one main match. That's pretty much what you got.
That's how NXT was.
Mm-hmm. So that's a combination of both, and that's what you're seeing. So don't expect too many title changes and things like that. Nah, they're gonna keep everything flowing until the big pay-per-views. Saturday Night Main Event. Don't expect too many title changes in that joint. It's going to just keep that thing going. It's going to be a combination of both brands until the main pay-per-view. With that being said, out this 5 card, I love the Fatal 4-Way. I thought that was very entertaining.
Yes.
Shout out to Drew McIntyre. Hopefully he don't have that much of a headache because he got rocked a little bit. But Larry, you've been talking about Jeff Cobb for the longest time.
He made his appearance.
He is almost like he's like a tall dwarf. I'll give him that. Can I say dwarf? He's a tall little person.
That is a derogatory
term. But he is stocky. Like I'll give him that. I would love to see. I already would love to see him and Bronson Reed go at it once. Bronson Reed comes. He should be rounding that corner. It was just an injury.
Yeah. But so I heard apparently it was worse than people thought. Apparently it was worse than they thought originally.
Okay, so he must have messed up a ligament or something within that process.
Yeah.
But we all know the ramifications of what's going on. You're going to see Drew and Damian split off and have another 2-month feud. LA Knight, I gotta see where you fit in here, bro, because you about to get left behind.
The crowd's still behind him, though.
Yeah. The crowd
behind him.
But the viewpoint is Fatu and Solo and what's going on with them, right? Yeah, so I don't want LA to get lost in that. So you got to keep making appearances. I will keep interfering with all their matches, to be honest with you. Even the Drew and Damian, I'm find my way in that some kind of way. Lara versus Becky, that was cool. Becky doesn't really get bad matches.
I thought it was a good match.
It was a good match. It was a good match. As I stated, the fact that I think she really messed up her nose, because I don't know if she showed up on Raw. Did she show up on Raw last night?
No,
I don't think she showed up. So I think she really messed her nose up, and she still finished the match. That type
held
of stuff,
it doing the pin.
You gotta earn your stripes. You didn't mess up. They ended it quick after that though, but she kept it going, so that was good. Dom and Penta. Dominic is just a great performer. Some of his moves that he was doing was great. This could have been a Raw match for me.
Butt. Okay.
This could have been a Raw match for me.
I figured that.
And they find a way to give El Grande some love in this thing. Shout out to El Grande. But Dom it's all about, to me, it's all about Dom. And Dom once again got a victory. Pat, hey man.
Clap for my man.
Hey,
Clap
man.
for my man.
Hey, man.
That's a real soldier, that dog.
Hey, homeboy.
Did you expect more from this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Is exactly what Gunther dominated, as he should.
He should have.
Pat made it entertaining,
Yes,
he should have. Michael Cole even got some action in that joint.
I'm trying to do Rick Rude Ultimate Warrior spot. Hold the
I
leg.
didn't correct. I didn't need Goldberg to show up right now. I don't need that.
Yeah,
clearly they're not going in that direction. If you saw Raw right afterwards, right?
Yeah.
He went right back to the Jey Uso. So you don't necessarily need Goldberg right now. It was just Pat being entertaining for 3 to 4 weeks, and he made a believe out of me. Shout out to him. And the last match for me personally, like I said, I mean, I talked about it earlier. I just think Cena, he showed me something, and he showed me that he still got the wrestling guts, pause. So him and Randy went at it, and I love the fact that he ended it the way he ended it. He's going to find a way to win every match now. He's going to be that dirty kind of a guy. He's not going to show up and do stuff. He did it against Cody. His very next match, he did it against Randy. He's going to find a way to win.
Got to feel to hear him.
Do you feel? I mean, he does. Do you feel as though he's regretting that heel turn?
I think he regrets the decisions that was made at the last moments. Not necessarily him doing it, but
regretting how it was done.
How it performed. And Larry can speak on it better.
The story could have been a lot better. It was The Rock's fault.
There we go. I will hold off that thought process because I don't know the insides like that. As you know, Larry's he's very in tune on the inside information. But like I said, I think he has issues with that part of it. But the fallout, I think he's okay with.
Do you think he's still? I mean, I take that back. Well, no. Do you think he still wins if he wasn't heel at WrestleMania?
He was always going.
I mean, no. I knew he was going to win at some point during this year.
No, he was going to win at WrestleMania.
I don't think he loses at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was the whole point. The whole point was for him to carry the title and go on the tour with the title, and then drop it later in the year. But the heel part came into place because Rock wanted to turn Cody heel.
Yeah,
and they was like, "Why would we turn Cody heel? He's the biggest babyface we got."
Let me ask you a question. Does anybody miss Cody right now? Absolutely not. They don't.
The whole world.
No one cares.
And I think right now,
no one does.
Drew McIntyre will be a lot better in a feud with Cody than this ongoing nothing with Damian Priest. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
What does that lead to, though? Well, that's a step back.
No one contending with Chimp match. What do you mean that's not a step back? Drew should be the top guy.
Drew should not be in a U.S. title.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
They are making the U.S. title more important, though. I'd say at least I give him that.
But he's not. Fight 2 is feuding with Solo. He's not even feuding for the title. He was in a 4-way that he had nothing to do with the and almost died. Like, no, I think he'd be much better in a high-profile feud with Cody Rhodes at Drew. Like, see, you mess with that damn bloodline, see what you get. Da, 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 da. Like, it was ways they could have told that story that was so much better. But anyway, I could write a million stories for this company. But I piggybacking off what you started talking about, and I know, Calvin, you had no interest in this match. But if you weren't entertained by my man Pat McAfee taking a complete ass whipping, I mean, and he went on his show the next day, like on Monday, like, bruh, I'm hurting for real. Like, that man beat the hell out of me, like had whelps all over him. Gunther did not. He fucked him up. Like, he was like, yeah, guys, don't think this is fake. This is real. It's real. Like, no, I got more respect in the world for these guys, and I think that's exactly what the business kind of needs a little bit. Like, you still need to have an edge of realism to it where people can think, okay, you can suspend your belief on some things, but other things, nah, that really hurt. You know what I mean? And I just thought Pat did a good job. Even the springboard where he didn't hit it perfectly, it showed, hey, I'm not a professional wrestler, guys. Yeah. I'm doing what I can. Like, it showed a realness to it. You know what I mean? Had he went out there like a Logan Paul, and that's what pissed me off about Logan Paul sometimes. Like, he picked up too quick. Like, it just looked like, oh, anybody can do this. Well, show that it's a little struggle.
I hear you, but Logan, I mean, I think he got he got like a wrestling ring at his house. Like, that dude really put in work. And to your, I guess it's to your point. It shows how like how dedicated Logan actually is to make it look that easy, because it's not. It is
but
not.
But he's also a
not
natural
easy.
athlete too, so I give him credit. Pat's a punter. You know what I mean? Like there's a bit of
he ain't an athlete too. Damn, he's a punter.
And he was in great shape. I mean, when they was out there, he looked like he belonged, and he looked like he didn't belong. But I just thought the way they laid the match out was very intelligent. Ain't like he did anything where you thought, oh, he about to beat Gunther. No,
well, Gunther don't have too many bad matches. Like he's one of those other guys. And I said like, about Becky. Like he'll keep it interesting.
But Pat was giving him some shots too, though.
But like, like even the kickouts were always on one, so it made it seem like it was never in question.
Like, oh, we about he put him in the L. Everybody like, oh, it's Gunther going tap again after the Jey Uso thing, but he didn't.
That was good. That was good. That shows you that hey, just because somebody put my move on me, balls, that don't mean I'm going to kick out every single time. So that was they needed. It
followed up on. Remember how we were like, I didn't think he should have tapped so quickly to Jay.
Exactly.
But that made Jay look like, okay, when I put it on you, you L'd out quick. Pat put it on you, it had no effect. So that made Jay look stronger.
So is that Jay's submission move? Because he did it on Seth too.
Maybe that's something he put into his arsenal now. I mean,
every champion needs a submission move, right? He
definitely needs it. I would have liked something different, but
I definitely would have chose something else.
Yeah. I think even he could have got away with like I don't know. Now because Rusev just came back, so
I was thinking that same exact thing.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
I was like, Rusev just came back, so
you know what I mean? But
maybe crossface. You know, we haven't seen the crossface, the chicken wing in a while.
Using it. Oh, chicken wing.
Chicken wing.
If he could master it, that'd be cool. But anyway, but I thought that was entertaining. But I think overall it was a good show. Calvin, overall, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, overall it was a good show. Like I said, my only complaint was I thought it was a little short with 5 matches, but overall it was a good show.
I thought it didn't overstay his welcome. And then we got the next big show coming up, Saturday night's main event on the 24th, which is coming up pretty quick.
Yeah,
you look
next
week. Out there, it's next Saturday. Yeah. That's typically just a special on NBC national television. And it's going to have a big tag team match between Sami Zayn teaming with CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, which if you've been looking at things, that's a pretty big matchup. We'll see how that goes down. You think somebody's coming to join Seth and them?
I was asking the question. We get the third man next week.
Now, I told y'all, I think when he's healthy, big fella should be that guy. He should be Bronson Reed should be that third guy. And that
so you're waiting until he's healthy?
Like I said, we don't know. What if he healthy now?
And who did I say? I said Austin Theory. And guess who's starting to split up?
Him and
the all I'm saying. Fella. I'm just gonna drop that out there. But
no impact.
It should be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Everybody that didn't show up on Backlash should be fighting tonight on Saturday night main event.
And then you got Jay defending the world title versus Logan Paul. That was announced the other night. And then another match that has been rumored to be taking place on that night. John Cena will be defending the WWE title versus R-Truth on Saturday Night Main Event.
No, don't bury my man like that.
That's word on the street. Cena versus Truth on Saturday Main Event. Truth getting his revenge for going through that table. So we'll see what type of promos they cut on Friday Night SmackDown this week. Should be interesting to track. And that's our show for tonight. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we check out these late NBA games tonight? Entertaining show this week, nonetheless. But as we get into football season is coming back. NBA's rounding down. We only got 4 games to talk about. So we're going to be talking about some other topics over the next couple of weeks. We're going to do some lists, some tier lists, or getting us ready for NFL. And then we're going to do some interesting things I got in the chamber we're going to talk about offline before we present it to the people. So don't worry. We got a lot more content to bring to you when the things starting to slow down. These series are narrowing down. Going to have only 2 Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals. Might be there next week for all we know at this rate from some of these series. So We're going to have a lot more time to talk about other topics. If there's a topic you want to hear us discuss, be sure to shoot us an email, shoot us a text, talk in the comments. Say, hey, I want y'all to talk about this, that, and we'll be sure to try to fit it in for you. Calvin, any final thoughts?
NFL schedule releases tomorrow night, so we'll see that. You'll start to get predictions. You'll start to catch some of the win-loss over-unders. I'll give you one of my favorite over-unders next week that I've already put in, and I'll have an updated one that I'll do after the schedule is released. I'm excited about that. We've already seen some of the international games. The opening game, Philly against Dallas. They're going to raise the banner at Lincoln Financial Field on that Thursday after at the Labor Day, and the Week 16 games. I guess it's the week before Christmas. Was also released as well. So we'll get the full schedule tomorrow. Looking forward to that, especially if you plan
that Miami game.
Yeah, looking forward to when that is. So I could hopefully book that flight and be out there for that game, and possibly Minnesota as well. Depending on when that game is.
Just a tip: fly into Fort Lauderdale and make the drive. Just a tip. I'm telling you, you'll be better off for it. If you fly into Miami, they ain't got no Southwest. You know what I mean?
They do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Since when?
Recently. I mean, it's been like a year or two. Yeah, like a year or two. But they starting to. You got paper bags anyways. They may not even be the cheapest.
Yeah, it might not. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, Justin, any final thoughts from you? Anything we need to hit on?
No, I think we covered everything just like people was covering Cassie.
Go, folks.
All right.
Oh, my God, help me. Oh, Jesus. The Preakness Stakes is this weekend. If you are into horse racing, might want to put your bets in. I'll never forget 2008. Lord, this is bad. That was Lord, that was bad. Lord.
That's what she said.
Lord, help me. We will not be talking about that case on this show. Thank you. Plenty of outlets are.
I mentioned nothing else.
2008, I put down some money at a horse race at Pimlico Racetrack. Won a significant amount of money. I haven't bet again, ever, on horse racing. But it is lucrative if you hit the right horse. So, hey, if that's your thing, this weekend will be the last Preakness at Pimlico for a while. Next year, they're moving to Laurel, and they're renovating Pimlico. Yeah. So, if you're going, in years past, people like to go out to midfield. It's a nice time, go to the concert. It's your final opportunity to do it this weekend coming up.
It's supposed to rain, ain't it?
It rained the last time I was there when Bruno Mars performed. Yeah. It rained the year before when Megan Thee Stallion performed. It seemed like it always rained at the end, but the race goes off or whatever, and that track be all wet. Anyway, but if you're going to enjoy it, have a good time. Y'all be safe out there because people be crazy. But hey, if you're into that, that's fun. It's a good thing for the city. But after this year, they will be renovating Pimlico, hopefully building up that area a little bit more.
Was it 3 years?
Yeah, I think 3 years in Laurel. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for us tonight. We'll be back next week for another edition. For Calvin, Justin, I'm Larry. We'll see you next week for another edition. Get off the damn fence. Have a good one.